comedies are back in theaters, and that is evidenced by No Hard Feelings.
Oh my god, did you him?
It's actually done some pretty good business, so glad some people are checking it out. We checked it out recently, and we had a pretty good time with it.
I like this movie quite a bit. I've seen, like, if anybody criticizes it, they're like, it's not perverted enough. And I'm like, yeah, okay, they made that movie. I thought it was, like, raunchy, but I also thought it was sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And most important of all, it was funny. And it was just Jennifer Lawrence having fun. And I like her a lot, and I have for a long time. And I like spending time with her in this goofy 100-minute movie.
I also really like this movie. Jennifer Lawrence is a hometown hero for us. She comes from the place where I was born. Ever since Hunger Games, I found that out. Holy moly, someone that's in the Hunger Games could also be from where I was born.
She's a real person.
Frankly, Muhammad Ali is from the same place I was born too, but I was like, holy moly, Jennifer Lawrence. Anyways, I really love this movie. I'm glad it's really brought her back into cultural zeitgeist. I feel like people are talking about her more, and she's doing a bunch of interviews and stuff like that online, and people are really realizing how funny she is, and people are just remembering how much we all love Jennifer Lawrence. I love this movie, and I hope it just springboards to more stuff.
I was going to be honest if I didn't like this movie as much as the classic comedies that I grew up loving, because I'm tired of some of these movies just getting really high ratings just because it has a good social narrative or something. While they're funny sometimes, they're not really hilarious, like only made to be funny. This movie does have that vibe, even though, like Christian was saying, there is a pretty good little sweet element to it that I think works, and they hit the landing on that in terms of the inevitable third act kind of thing with a movie like this.
Yes.
And I think they do a pretty good job of teetering the line there, so you can, come out of the movie happy and not feel like you wasted 20 minutes making it be a movie instead of just having comedic bits. But this one has comedic bits.
I need to fire her.
I can't fire her. She has a disability.
What? No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
That's the reason why I hired you.
Very much worth the price of admission bit. It occurs on a beach.
Speaking to skinny dipping.
What about sharks?
Men here!
Jellyfish?
If you have seen this movie, you know damn well what I'm talking about.
If I knew that was in the movie, I would have paid twice as much.
Get the in here right now! Okay!
I was like, are they going to do this? Like, how are they doing this? And then they did it, and I just could not believe what I was seeing on screen. It was hilarious. It was just such a really well-crafted bit, and it's just some high art in terms of comedy, just crafting studio comedy setup. It was great, and it made me really feel like we still can make these movies. Like Christian was saying, Jennifer Lawrence's superstar performance, absolutely on it the entire time. Never annoying or grating, I think. Like every now and then some comedy star could be in some of these movies. She's just a true movie star actress, and she is totally game the entire time. And I feel like, what's the guy?
Andrew Barth Feldman.
Yeah, he's really good in this, where I had no expectations for him.
Oh, yeah.
I know he was big on the theater scene, I guess. He was fantastic playing off of him. At first, you're kind of worried a little bit. You're like, is he going to be too nerdy a little bit? But then it's fleshed out really good with his character arc. 3 separate gags with the song Man Eater by Hall & Oates in this movie. And I think all 3 were fantastic.
Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater.
I have listened to the live version of him singing that song a little bit. I feel like that makes it memorable enough on its own, and I think it's a really fun movie, and you all should check it out.
Need a car, date our son this summer, and bring him out of his job before college. In exchange, we'll give you a Buick Regal. Date is in quotes. It's gotta be a joke, right?
Jennifer Lawrence is doing a lot in this movie, and she's always been kind of goofy. And they do a lot with her that I feel like you would see in like a comedy from the late 90s or so. Like whenever she gets pepper sprayed.
Why?
Or whenever she does the aforementioned beach scene. I just really loved how I sensed that this was a movie she wanted to do. And I think otherwise, why would she have done it? Her career has been in such a weird place lately. Red Sparrow, and then Dark Phoenix, and then she had a kid, and then she vanished, and she's just been slowly coming back, and I thought this movie and last year's Underseen Causeway
I've heard of it.
were a good re-entry point. Both movies are very drastically different, but like they're both examples of what she does and what she can do really well. I was surprised by how much of a two-hander this movie was. Her and Barth Feldman, we looked up after the movie, was in some sort of TikTok version of Ratatouille the musical as Linguini. Perfect casting.
Perfect.
Spot on. He's delightful. I actually I thought he really did a good job of keeping up with her energy, which is pretty high.
Yeah, this is good.
Because like the start of the movie, she comes across as like a total psychopath. Like whenever she's throwing herself on him at the dog shelter.
Mind if I touch your wiener?
What?
Dog.
It's no wonder that he maces her in the face despite how beautiful she is. Because she just doesn't. She's like the kind of person who doesn't know how to flirt. Because she usually doesn't have to do that because she's as good looking as she is.
Yeah.
And so she just lays it all on so thick. And she just has no idea what she's doing to the point where this person thinks that he's being abducted. And it's funny. I don't know. It works.
I think the performance is actually really impressive just because it's very hard for a woman to do the big man-child thing, or I guess woman-child thing, where, you know, we've seen this a lot throughout the years with like Adam Sandler and Will Ferrell and stuff like this. A goofy guy that just doesn't have his life together and he has to just do this. You've seen it a lot. There's not a lot of women parts for this, and I think she really nails this. Also, there's a lot of physical comedy in this, and there's not a lot of parts where they're letting women do physical comedy this way, and she's nailing it. At one point, she has to go up some stairs wearing roller skates, and I was like, this is hilarious. This is what I want.
They A, aren't making these movies right now, and B, they're not making these movies with Academy Award winners who want to be there. This movie could have been like, you watch it and you're like, oh, Jennifer Lawrence just did this for the money or something, which I don't really think she does that unless it's X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Just trying to get out.
Yeah, and you could tell she wanted to be there, and they just haven't made a movie like this in a while, and she was probably just itching. She was itching for it. And I could tell that she had a good time.
I think Gene Stupnitsky, the director of this movie, has brought comedy that we want to have again. He's done it twice in a row here with No Hard Feelings and then Good Boys back in 2019. Those are two of the best comedies recently that have this throwback vibe while also being modern comedies that aren't like in your face about, hey, this is a modern comedy, but also still being that throwback classic comedy kind of vibes. It integrates it, you know, perfectly, I think, and I really think that's something to look for moving forward in terms of being able to have these movies.
You want to savor it. Savor it.
And also, you know, dealing with whatever the heck's going on. But Jennifer Lawrence does get away with a lot in this movie, and that is part of the fun. And you can tell, like Chris was saying, she genuinely wanted to be here and wanted to do this. And I think that's why it was successful.
Doesn't anyone anymore?
I had a great time with it. I just love talking about this movie, and I love the movie.
I think it's just really fun. Early prediction, Jennifer Lawrence will get a Golden Globe nomination.
It's 100 minutes. It just goes in. It gets you a lot of jokes. You're laughing. It gets you a little bit of heartstrings pulled. The thing about these movies is the ending really makes it, and I really do like the ending of this movie. I love the song that they choose. I love the last needle drop, and I just love the last shot, and it leaves you with a good feeling. The best movies of this kind leave you that way.
Yeah, it felt like a real movie, which is also why it's way better than a lot of these streaming comedies that they have on here now. And obviously you can stream this eventually, probably fairly soon, with the way the release dates come out for these sort of things.
As soon as it's on Netflix, it'll be #1.
Let us know, did you see the movie? Are you going to check it out? Did you like it? And if you didn't, no hard feelings. I guess that's okay.
If you like the beach scene, make sure you subscribe and like.
Everyone liked the beach scene, so I should see every one of you doing.
I think even the people that didn't like this movie were like, wow, that beach scene.
That's good.
I feel like it's going to be in some people's memories. So anyway, we will see you in the next video.
Yes.